Markham Media. This is Michael Taylor on Markham Perspectives. Today we have an exciting guest, the Honorable Commissioner Monica Gordon. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
We got a lot to talk about because you just relocated or located, right, in a Canterbury shopping center, right? What made you come home?
Well, I'll say this. It's a great location. It's in the middle of the district. Being central in the district, it allows constituents from all over the district to have easier access to me and my staff. So, and I'm going to say this, I love the administration here. The mayor is very supportive. He, not just the mayor, the village manager, Derek Champion, of course you, Michael Taylor. The entire administration has welcomed me with open arms, and they've always been supportive of me, so it only feels right that I will be here in Markham.
But let me ask you a question. When you were a little girl, right, did you ever envision being in the position that you are now? Because not only are you a commissioner, but you're a precinct committee person too, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that. What were your dreams and aspirations as a younger person?
So when I was young, I wanted to do a lot of different things. I had a period when I wanted to be an obstetrician, where I wanted to be a lawyer, when I wanted to be a journalist. But I can remember in first grade, we had to give a speech about what we wanted to be. And I said, I want to be President of the United States. Now, I don't want to be that now. But at that time, that's what I stated, and it just reminds me of how when I was a kid I had no limitations. I believed that I could do anything that I put my mind to. And of course, you know, as I got older and I realized how things were, I lost that I lost that type of confidence, you know, because I was thinking, you know, well, how could I ever be president of the United States? And like I said, that wasn't a dream that stayed with me, but I didn't think it. I remember I didn't even think it was possible to see a black president in my lifetime. So I was very excited when I watched the trajectory of Barack Obama.
Yes, ma'am.
But when I was 6 years old, I didn't see any of that. I just knew whatever I wanted to be, I could be. And so that's why I said I wanted to be the president of the United States. So did I really think I would get into politics? I always loved politics. In college, I was on a debate team. So I'm not that surprised that I'm doing this, but it's not something I set out to do.
Let me ask you a couple questions, right? It's like a hot button questions, right? What's your favorite food? If you could have any food, what's your favorite food be?
It's so many different foods I love. I love Persian food. I love Mexican food. I love Italian food. I mean, I don't really have a favorite. It's so many things that I like.
Now, your grandmother, of course, passed away a few months back, right?
Well, she passed away almost a year ago. She passed away December 15th of last year.
What were some of the things that your grandmother put inside of you that you use today?
Well, I was so grateful that my grandparents believed that I could do anything. They thought very highly of me. They thought I was the smartest little girl in the world, and they fostered that. My grandmom would teach me things, teach me different types of math, how to solve different types of math problems. I can remember when my dad was a little hard on me, and if I'm just sitting around, he'll say, go learn something. And my parents bought me a encyclopedia, so I'll just go look up stuff. I remember one time when my dad came home with VHSs and Baskin Robbins, and one of the movies was Prince and a Pauper. I'm like, oh, we about to watch a movie. So we begin to watch the movie. He says, well, make sure you pay attention to it because you'll be tested on it. And I'm like,
he gave you a test about the movie.
He didn't. He threatened to do it. Right. But the point of it is, I'm like, dude, can I just watch the movie? So, you know, I think that gave me a little discipline. But as you mentioned, my grandmom, she instilled this type of fierce confidence in me that I could really do whatever I want to do, just as long as I work hard to do it.
Now, you obviously you're a public servant, right?
Yes.
Where does this serving come from? Does it come from your grandmother? Does it come from your dad? It had to be somebody that put that I want to serve inside of your heart.
So it would be my grandmother, my grandfather, and I would say my mom and my aunt. My grandfather has always been about helping out his community, as well as my grandma. And I can remember when I was younger, like during block parties, how they would do things to serve our community. And so my grandfather, he was from West Virginia. He was a very proud black man who was proud of his history. And he was very politically knowledgeable, as well as my aunt. And so we would talk about things like that and being aware of what's going on around you and how things work.
Now, let me say this. We see you everywhere, right? I don't know how one person could be at so many places doing so many great things, right?
Thank you.
What do you love most about being a commissioner? What do you love? What gets you up in the morning? What gets your fire burning? Tell me about that.
So you'll hear people say, okay, I like to help people. It may sound cliche, but that's the truth. What gets me up in the morning is knowing that I have an opportunity to utilize resources to change people's lives. And when we get into talking about my priorities, let's talk about violence prevention.
Okay.
So I'm 46 and I don't have any children, but my peers have children,
Right.
and they're burying their children.
That's right.
Their people are burying their brothers, their sisters, and we become so acclimated to this type of violence. And I grew up on the west side of Chicago, so I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot, but we've made this our normal, and it's not normal. And I can't imagine, I'm not a parent, I can't imagine losing a child.
Right, me
What
either.
that feels like, the trauma that comes along with it for the survivors. And so the fact that I have a voice and I have access to resources that can possibly help someone and help eradicate this problem, that's what gets me up every day. That I have a chance, I have a unique voice with unique experience. Just growing up in a very under-resourced area. I'm from West Garfield Park and West Humboldt Park.
Right.
West Garfield Park was just categorized as the most violent area of the city. When I was in high school, I had to take 2 buses to my high school. I went to Lane Tech all the way up north. In the morning, my grandfather would take me to school because my mom, in the wintertime, it would get dark early.
Right.
So my mom would be worried about that. And just my unique experiences, I remember in grade school, I was like the #1 tester. We had in the African American Quiz Bowl, we had a preliminary test, and at all of the schools, I got the #1 score. And I'm not stating that to brag, but that had a part in my confidence, because studying Black history, I was able to be proud of who I was. A lot of times we're so disconnected from who we are.
Right.
And if you don't know the greatness you come from, you don't know how great you can be and what you can do. So I'm sorry, I know I went off on a tangent.
That's very important. But that's actually sets up my next topic of conversation. I noticed that around you are African American women that are following you because you're their mentor, right? And I noticed that you take time with them to help them to make sure that they go in the right way, to give them advice. Some of them are just entering into the political arena. Why do you do that?
Well, we talked about before about mentorship, helping people. And I have mentors. I still have mentors. I call them mentors, advocates, sponsors of my career. And it's something I enjoy doing. I think of like I stated before, I was doing interviews the other day and I explained how my management style is more of like a coach. I want to take you from with Jim Collins' book, From Good to Great. So that's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy motivating others and coaching others to be the best they can be and bringing out their potential. And as you stated, I'm Bloom Township committee person. So for me, with building my organization, it is my job to build an organization of people who are as strong or stronger than me. And that's what I want to do.
Let me ask you a question. 5 years from now, what do you see yourself?
I love being a commissioner. And the reason I love being a commissioner is because having a say in local government is really where you get to make that impact and make that difference. So 5 years from now, I hope to have this trauma center on the Southland where people don't have to drive all the way to Christ when an emergency happens, a car accident or a shooting. You know, they can drive somewhere that's close by and increase their chances of survival. So in 5 years, I want to be able to say that we did it together. We made a collaborative effort to bring this trauma center here to save lives. I want to be able to say in 5 years that the violent shooting deaths have been reduced by 50%. I want to be able to say that, you know, water infrastructure problems are no longer. We were able to secure the funding needed to fix the water infrastructure throughout the Southland so people can have, you know, have clean drinking water.
Wow, that's impressive. Now, I want you to do something for me.
Yes.
Somewhere out there in the world, and probably some of our listening audience, there's some young women out there, right? I want you to look at any one of those cameras. I want you to talk to that young person that was just like you, that maybe lacked the confidence. And only through reading about Black history and having a good grandmother and a good father and good people around you, but they may not have that. Talk to them. Talk to them young people out there and tell them give them a message today.
So life is going to send you through some challenges. You will have your heart broken by people in your life that you think will be around you forever. Some of those people could be your loved ones. I would say that seek mentors everywhere you go. Seek mentors in your parents. Like my mom is a great mentor to me. My aunt is a great mentor to me. My grandmom was a great mentor to me. My grandfather. Seek mentors in your family, but also outside of your family. Seek people who will invest in you. And that doesn't mean a monetary investment. That can mean a time investment, but someone who will teach you. Engage in relationships that are mutually beneficial. And put your all into whatever you want to do. Whatever you feel like you were put on this earth to do, whatever your purpose is, give it everything you have in you. And just continue, don't give up. Things are going to happen. Challenges will occur where you feel like, okay, this isn't working. No, that's a test. You keep going. And when you believe in yourself, you won't stop.
I love it. Folks, before we go, we're going to ask you one more question.
Absolutely.
Now, you've been our neighbor here in the city of Markham now for a little while. Mm-hmm. What have you learned about the city of Markham? What have you learned about our Mayor Roger Akpower? When you talk about him for a minute, what does he mean to you? I know you guys are friends, but what does that relationship look like?
Well, I would say that when you talk about the importance of being a servant and is helping people, that's what I would say about the mayor. The mayor helps people, and it shows. And I don't mean to get political. It shows, you know, when they vote for him, he gets over 80% of his vote is because he takes care of the residents first. And I remember when he told me, he makes sure everybody knows him. And that's how he's able to solve the problems of the community. When people know him, they go to him about their needs, their problems, their challenges. And he's able to address those by knowing his constituents. And so I would say that it's evident that the mayor of Markham puts the people first. And that's what I admire about him.
Folks, this is Michael Taylor on Markham Perspectives. You can see Markham is in great hands, very rich leadership we have in Commissioner Gordon and our Mayor Roger Akpower. Monica, we want you to come back on the show anytime. You're our neighbor now.
Thank
and
you,
you're doing
Michael.
a fantastic
and
job.
And you're doing a fantastic job, too. So I want to say kudos to you and just all the people that you've highlighted. And you've been there from the beginning of my career to now, and I'm very grateful for you. And I'm just watching how you're giving people an opportunity to have their work and featured. So thank you for the work that you do.
We appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in to Markham Perspectives. We'll catch you next time.